Um, you said something about on the lines that some people will go deeper into the matrix and other will sort of be in an expanded version of the earth. Does that mean that there will in fact be two kinds of earths? That one earth will be more in the matrix and another one will be in another dimension, that humans will have two different realities.
Understand that potential realities are infinite. So every time you think a thought of what could be next in your life, it's created energetically. Think of how many thoughts you as an individual have thought about what could be next. Now multiply that through the entire history of your planet. That's how many possibilities there are for what's next. Because your little version that what's next for me is that I'm this, or what's next for me could be that. And say, for example, you have 10 million of those in your lifetime, and then multiply that out, and then multiply that by all of the beings that have consciousness, which all beings do in the history of your world. That's how many potential other examples there are energetically. The physical expression, though, is singular. So the physical expression of the environment, your earth is not going to physically break in two, and you're not going to all travel to a different place because you have achieved this level of consciousness and leaving everyone else behind. That is a bit of a misunderstanding of what we offer sometimes, and what other teachers are grappling with, perhaps understanding themselves. And a lot of times ego infiltrates some of these messages, and you are receiving the teacher that you're ready for when you're receiving them. So when the teacher shows up and they are teaching you something, and it's expanding your knowledge and moving you forward, but it's still limited in some way, they are serving their purpose for you. That teacher is absolutely there as a vibrational alignment. And then when you get to this is more stripped of ego than many teachers that have come before. But David would not have the ability to do this had those other teachers not existed or still exist. It is all this evolution of consciousness that you're all doing, and it will continue to evolve. So in this example, you're not going to change Earth. You're going to change how you experience Earth. Those at the very forefront of this consciousness love and appreciate and are excited for the very most exciting time ever to be manifested as a human being on planet Earth, which is your right now. Because everything that's happening in your world is simply a collection of beings having their experience of expansion of consciousness. The label of suffering and the label of wrong and the label of should not be is something that is fueling more of that. And those that are coming to understand that, wait, we create consciously. and for the last 50 to 100 years in linear time, humanity has come to understand that there is not necessarily a being in the sky creating on your behalf, that you are doing the conscious creating. The being in the sky is everywhere, omnipresent, omniscient, and that being is the driver of the creation, but you are the decider of where you go next. That is why you are a unique strand of consciousness with an ego discerning these preferences and having this experience. There would be no reason for a physical environment if you weren't here doing that. So here you are on this journey, and you're all coming to understand that the ones that believe they are abundant are living abundant lives, and the ones that believe they are in lack are living lackful lives. Take that mindset and start applying in your life and see some of the things that you want show up as you all do. And then take that and reverberate that out across all of humanity and come to understand on a higher level that everyone is doing that, even the ones in their suffering experiences. And we certainly understand that you can view someone being abused in some way or murdered or tortured or exterminated from your world and not want that for them. That is certainly understandable. We are not guiding you away from that opinion, but understand that in your demonization of it and your labeling it as should not be and the pushing against and the protesting and all of these things, it keeps going. The subjects that you all focus on in your demonizing mindset stick around. And even if you stamp one out, they're going to pop up someplace else. There's evidence of this all around you. So now you're coming to understand, well, wait, if we are creating with our consciousness, Is it better to look upon one in appreciation of them for the experience they're having without judgment? That will do more for them than judging their experiences should not be. That's the magic. That's the turning point that you're creating for yourselves now, is understanding that the fear and judgment is only going to create more things to fear and judge. That when you detune fear, you're not going to eradicate fear. Your fear serves you all on some level. It keeps you out of harm's way. It's there for a reason. It's just been hyper developed in your matrix. You have been taught to fear a deity in the sky. But if you're just thinking in very rational terms, very logically, why would there be a deity in the sky that creates you, that needs you to worship and obey? Ask yourselves that. We are not going to answer that for you. Just ask yourselves that. Why would the creator of all that is need to be worshiped or need to be obeyed in any way? And if there are these laws, then the creator of all that is, why does the creator of all that is allow that separation and allow these unwanted things to occur? Because you are all creating those unwanted experiences. We are the driver of all creation. You are taking our creative energy and using it in such a way that causes destruction and trauma and pain and suffering and all of these things that are not your preference. You are all doing this. We are in it, but you are the ones that are doing it. And the more that you focus your consciousness on the wrongness of it, the more you're going to see of that. The more you move into the source-like appreciation of, deep understanding of, you are detuning. The monsters that you fear only have the power that you give to them in your fear and judgment of them. So when you start appreciating them, they become more benign. There are leaders in David's country that are feared and judged very harshly in this hyperpolarized time. And that hyperpolarization is not happening to all of humanity, and certainly not all in his nation. But you're seeing, it's the louder part that you're seeing reported on more, because it boosts ratings and people watch that. People that are tuned into that and fear it are going to watch in their fear and judgment of it. And that's what that's all about. But it's becoming even more, as he states, ridiculous, because that's a reflection of how broken the system is. And the system is broken because you're all breaking it. You're all doing this everywhere. And in the breaking of the systems, you are needing to find a new way for yourselves. How are we going to move forward without the old matrix of beliefs? And the way to move forward, if you choose to do so, and more of you are doing this, is to understand conscious creation, understand that appreciation trumps everything in your world. That is the true healing and solving power of everything. So that's why we are guiding you to appreciate your life's transgressors, to appreciate your trauma, to appreciate your pain, because it's exactly what has guided you here to this level of awareness where you're able to sit and digest what we are offering, understanding that most of humanity is not.
Thank you for giving some teaching on how to do this through appreciation. It's not easy for our minds, our ego minds, but it's good with instructions on how to do this. Now, you said that it would be impossible to predict anything, but still, I argue that there might maybe be a direction we're moving into, even though there are a gazillion possibilities. So to end on the very positive note here, are we moving into a paradise like Earth in our lifetime?
You are not going to create the 3D version of paradise where you all, we will back up there for a moment and state that nothing is impossible, but where you're heading now energetically and the momentum that you're creating and the lifetime that you speak of over the next 50 to 100 years, you are not going to create your 3D version of paradise, because the 3D version of paradise that you speak of is where you are all choosing to be a singular vibration, where there's no ego present and you're all agreeing about everything all the time. Because to disrupt paradise, all you would need is one being to decide they want just a little more. That's all it takes. For one, all of you, if all of you were to get together, we will give an example. If all of humanity were to get together and decide we're going to appreciate all that is, we are all going to assign ourselves in this example, to the Tya practice that David has delivered. We are going to appreciate our transgressors. We're going to detune our ego. We are all conscious creators. We're going to want for nothing because we all understand that abundance is available to all of us. We're all going to get together universally and agree on that. We're not going to kill one another. We're not going to harm one another. We're not going to harm anything in our world. Everything is just going to live in harmony. But Earth is not designed that way. Earth is a self-sustaining environment. Life feeds life. Someone's going to get hungry for a piece of meat and want to kill an animal, and someone's going to think that that's wrong, and your harmony is disrupted. Someone is going to decide that you live in one structure, I still want my structure to be a little bigger than yours, and then suddenly your harmony is disrupted. Your world of duality is simply not designed to be utopian. The utopian vibration is your eternal consciousness being that you want for nothing. There is no need for money. There is no need for one-upmanship. There's no physical body to worry about the appearance of and reversing the aging process and being the perfect fitness and all of these things that your matrix tells you that you're supposed to be. That is all just a human-created mindset to control your behavior and by and large drive commerce for those that are telling you that you're supposed to look a certain way, be a certain way, and live a certain way. So you're always going to have that element in an environment of duality. So we are guiding you to stop worrying about utopia and to stop even fantasizing about utopia, because that's the very thing that's keeping you away from the authentic appreciation of exactly what you're experiencing right now, which is the only true utopia that's available to you.
To watch the full video, click the link below, and I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel.